Hello, Clint.
Good evening, Dr. Miles. How are you?
Tilt your camera just a little bit more because it's showing half your head. There you go.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's about time to get started, huh?
We're working on that. Yeah, so look at my
Yeah,
hair here.
we're on now. So, Jackie, how are you doing today?
I am doing well, Dr. Miles. Had a very busy morning, but all is well. How are you?
Hey, in your area, spring break, isn't it?
It absolutely is. It's a wonderful thing.
Okay, great. Hey, I'm doing well here in Atlanta. Just for those who are just coming on, I'm Dr. Willie Miles. I'm the president of Dr. Willie Miles Children's Foundation, located in Atlanta, Georgia. We are a 501c3 not-for-profit, and our vision and mission is basically we make children our priority. Jackie?
Yes, I am Jacqueline Hampton Clemens, CEO of Valley of the Giants and principal in sunny South Florida.
Jackie, if it's break, why are you on tonight? That could
Because we're on every Tuesday. If you're
so,
on, I'm on.
so commitment is something else, right?
Yeah.
Al Miller, hey, how are you doing? Good. Thanks for giving us greetings. And I see Janae is on, and a few other people are coming on. Jackie, I'm so looking forward to it tonight. I'm trying not to laugh too hard. All right.
Right? This is going to be interesting.
Hey, but I think every now and then we should have one of our programs that's not so serious, because part of therapy is laughter.
Absolutely. And this is certainly a time when laughter is needed. So I'm looking forward to this. And I hope our audience and those who are on with us are going to definitely contribute and share some things, hopefully some things we have never heard of yet.
And today is, we said, Family and Friends Day. So I'm really hoping that people invite their family and friends.
Yes, I'm hoping the same, Dr. Miles. It's going to be very interesting. See if we get some new people on.
Yeah. Hey, but it's always exciting to be on with our friends who are on Facebook Live and also Instagram Live.
Hi, Facebook.
Jackie, they hear you. I get, and they're very excited about having you on. But about the weather a little bit. How is the weather in South Florida?
Honestly, it was a perfect day. Sunny. It's a little bit overcast right now, so it's kind of cool. It's the reason people come to South Florida, people move to South Florida.
But Jackie, you also spent a day in Naples, I understand.
I did. I have a girlfriend who relocated from Miami to the Naples area. Beautiful community, Dr. Miles. I tell you, I think you and I both need to get a home over there.
Jackie, I'm not calling out because they won't know. Now, you said this woman has a 6-bedroom house.
It's actually 7 bedrooms, 8 baths. And what's interesting, many of the homes there, Dr. Miles, they all bought pre-construction, and they had the option of adding, you could call it an in-law, it's an apartment. So they have their home, and then with separate entrance, but attached is a bedroom, full bath, full walk-in closet, sitting area, kitchenette, and just about all the homes there have them. So just amazing, beautiful, extremely high ceilings. Really people who are just decorating and having fun.
I had enough. I mean, envy. And we're not going to cover another.
You would certainly fit right in over there, Dr. Miles. It is your kind of community.
Hey, folk, you know something? The weather here in Atlanta also is beautiful. It's spring, y'all. It is spring. So we're having great weather, and I'm trying to get out in it. I'm wondering
if we have anyone, Dr. Miles, in the Mississippi, Alabama, Texas area where, they are really having some rough weather. If we do, happy to have you guys on. But thinking and sending, support and prayers to those families.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I understand that the storm is either headed to Jackson, Mississippi, or has it hit already?
I think it's heading that way.
Okay, right. Well, we both have family there, so we're praying for safety. And I'm a believer, so I believe it's already done.
Right. I do see a friend on, Miss C. Breezy. So happy to have her on. And on tonight's topic, I would think she would have a lot to share. So I'm looking forward to that. Hi, C. Breezy.
I'm going to try not to laugh too much tonight, because I laughed as we began to pull this stuff together, because I thought about my mother. Now, we're going to set the stage for y'all. And as we're doing the research, Jackie, we saw different generations of parents responding. But, I know many of you all have had parents, and when you were young, they would tell you all kind of stuff. They would tell you all kind of stuff and it make a bit of sense to me. And I said, what is she talking about? You know, my mother would tell me, if you play on the bank, you're going to fall in the river. Well, we ain't have no rivers. What does that mean? But
yeah, but if you play with puppies, they lick your face. I'm like, of course they do. Like, that's why you're playing with them. Who knows?
But that's not what the underlying meaning was. So
Right.
our friends who are on with us, if your parents had something unique they said to you, please put it in the chat box. We'll be most certainly.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear these. And again, Dr. Miles, I want to go back a little bit and let people know that, you know, if they go to our channel, you'll see that most of our topics can be really heavy. They're very serious things. Again, our goal is to make sure that we are creating safe environments for children. Everything that we talk about is about youth. And so tonight is one of those things, because these are things that our parents have said to us, more than likely things that we have said to our children, those of us who are parents, but it is just a lighter night. And again, I think the timing is perfect.
Jackie,
so without further ado,
let's go back to that. Come on, don't play on the bank. How about talking about a bank where money is? And it's gonna fall in the river. I say no river.
River banks.
So I'm trying to figure out. I was saying, like, what is she talking about? And really, you don't get it till you get older, because it's an analogy.
Yes.
Jackie, and what she meant was, you keep taking risks, you're gonna
fall in.
Gonna get in some trouble.
Yep, you're gonna get in some trouble. You're gonna fall in. You keep getting close to the edge or getting close to the trouble, you're gonna get caught up in it. Absolutely.
And then she had the audacity to say, you fell in the river.
Right.
But, you know, and what do some mothers? My mother would also do something that I used to be very upset with her all the time. You know, I would ask her advice, and she would never give me an answer. It would always be this parable. I said, well, Lord. She would say, if you do it this way, I'm not going to tell you what to do now, but if you do it this way, this is going to happen. If you do it this way, this is going to happen. I said, I need an answer.
Dr. Miles, in hindsight, though, you know, when we give our kids advice, they don't listen no way, so maybe she just knew, I'm not going to bother. He needs to make his own choices.
So I didn't like when she did that. But as an adult now, guess what? I appreciate it, because she was causing me to think and weigh the options and look at the risk.
Absolutely. I'm looking at some of these, and like you said, I am cracking up. Do I look like Boo Boo the Fool?
Did your parents ever say, do I look like Boo Boo the Fool?
Do I look like Boo Boo the Fool? The problem is that as children, we just don't realize our parents have been there, done that, until we are parents, until we're adults. So we really think that we're saying something and getting over, and they're just looking at us like, Lord, help this child.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You know, and Jackie, the thing about it, you know, back in those days, when they said these things, they were not playing.
They were not playing.
They were no joking. They look at you like,
you know, and also, you know, especially with our age group, our parents lived in a different time where it really was necessary to kind of, one, make sure you stayed in line. You know, we're talking about the time when children were children and adults were adults, and there was no crossing that line. And also when keeping you safe was necessary. So there are things that you had to learn. And many of these, you know, are kind of their own warnings. Is what they amount to. But I'm still, you know, I'm not seeing any in the comments yet. I want our guests to start. I would like our guests to just mention like the saying that your parents said to you that stuck the most, or maybe the one that you thought was absolutely insane until you became an adult and then you realized why they were saying what they were saying.
Or the one you said, when I get grown, I will never say that.
Oh, right.
And the word is never say never.
Yep. Never say never.
Never say never. You know, I recall this one, and I just, you know, it would be an anger, but you didn't get it. But you made the connection. You said, now you're smelling yourself, and your mama on your breath. I ain't smelling myself because I don't stink.
Dr. Miles, you need to stop. But yes, that was very common.
Now you're smelling yourself. What that mean?
Smelling yourself, Lord. I mean, you know, even based on what they meant, the wording just.
They got.
They could have found a better way to say that.
Well, why can't they say you just being rude or something?
Right. No, you think you're wrong. Bottom line is.
I bet you money the kids understood what she meant by that.
Yep. Look, they didn't. They figured it out.
Very quickly.
They figured it out very quickly. Now that one is like, I'm with you, smelling myself. Why would I smell myself? Like, why would I do that? Like, what? You think you all that? Yep.
People are still using those terms today. Then you smell. And so, what does smelling yourself mean, though?
Right. You thinking about yourself too much. You think it's about you.
You think you're grown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think one of the translations is you feeling yourself.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You're really feeling yourself these days. Yeah.
Right. But it's amazing. I'm here, and these are sort of like humorous, but we're really talking about what you pass down to your children.
Exactly.
Even though you say stuff heatedly sometimes, and you say things that don't make sense to them, they'll eventually get it up. Like this right here. Ready?
What?
Just keep living. That's why I ain't
gonna die. Woo!
Okay,
we should do the top 10 because that just keep living.
You just keep living.
It's like Sam Cooke and a change gonna come.
I said, what is that?
Just keep living.
And I would say, I know I'm gonna keep living. I ain't dead.
Miles, you like none of them did. You fought every last one. I know I'm gonna keep living. Of course, that was all stuff you said under your breath.
No, in my room though. I ain't said
exactly.
Under my breath.
I tell people all the time, parents back in the day would swing on you.
It didn't play.
You did not get cute with your adults.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many of y'all recall the look?
Including the ones you could not have.
The look your parents gave you when you're doing something wrong. What does that mean with your mom or grandma? They give you the look.
Well, what it meant is them not talking was worse than them talking.
Right.
Right. It meant, here's your warning.
Check it. I ain't like
2 steps back.
And the look also is symbolic that ain't nobody else know what I'm talking about now, but you gonna get it.
Yep.
And that look said, wait till we get home.
Yep. Just wait. And you were afraid to get home.
Now y'all don't know assumptions. I was not a horrible child. I was a wonderful child. But that look stayed with me for a long time.
Yep, like you said, it was all in that. Even raising my kids and as an educator, I was like, don't think I don't know what a steel roll is. Because we knew we couldn't roll our eyes, but you know how they stare at you with that? Like, I'm like, I know what a steel roll is. Yeah, you rolling your eyes without moving them. Don't stare at me like that.
And these were things, Jackie, we when we were growing up, we said, I'm never going to talk that way.
Yep.
And I use this all the time. Just keep living.
It just says so much, Dr. Miles. Just keep living. Like, because, this is one that I love. This is not what parents used to say, but this is something I read in a store on the highway on the way back between Mississippi and Florida. Teenagers, hurry up and move out of your parents' house while you still know everything. And just keep living was one of those, because you know everything. Just keep living. You think you know everything, but just keep living.
Miss Queen says she know about them eyes. She know about them eyes. Yeah. And we all know about them eyes. But it's amazing back in those days when parents were to do those kind of things. If you're looking from the outside, you say, my God, they are just mean. But guess what? They shaped us. Those looks.
And simple things like fix your face.
You know what's interesting about that, Jackie? I don't know about the rest of y'all now, but these were said to us. They were no cussing. Now parents got to cuss the kids out. And everybody know what they're talking about.
Hello.
Versus these phrases. And these are the phrases that got us over. Jackie, I don't have this on here, but I used to wonder why my mother would rock all the time when she got old. She just rock. And guess what?
You find yourself doing it.
I started rocking. I said, I got to stop this foolishness.
I see it all the time. My mom used to sit and just kind of bob her leg or, how you just kind of rock your foot back and forth.
Right.
And I find myself doing the same thing and saying, oh my goodness. We do so much more of what we see versus what we're told. Right. But there's some more good ones on our list, Dr. Miles.
Before you go there, though, Jack, before you go there, but see, this is part of that children are watching you.
I think that's something that we need to put on a shirt for parents.
Yes.
Right? They watch your every move.
And Jackie, they may not respond at that moment, But they're growing up like we did.
They don't ever respond at the moment. You know, it is more, honestly, and it's subconscious. They also don't realize they're absorbing.
Yes.
You know, the behavior is just absorbed before you realize it.
Check. I wonder, before you read any more, I wonder what would phrases that we use as adults would our kids grow up and mimic. I tell you what, a bad one I had with my son, and he loves when I say it. He will say something about somebody, and I'll say, dummy.
Dummy. Okay.
And I said, I gotta stop saying that. But
I know the one that I'm looking at now. Everything is little. Them your little friends. Them your little books. Get your little old stuff. Everything is little, and they grown, and I'm still saying that. Oh, that's your little stuff right there. That's your little.
Them your little friends, huh?
Everything is little. So a lot of it is in love. Some of it is in protection. But these are just things that become part of us. And I hope, you know, that all children do have some of these things to take away, because it also means that your parents are communicating.
Exactly.
They are paying attention to you, and they're guiding you, you know. Now, this was a good one that I used with my kids. Okay. Everybody want to go to McDonald's. Okay. You paying for it? Next. You got McDonald's money? That's okay. I'll go home. But I mean, they never wanted to spend their own money on it, but was more than ready to spend yours.
But you know, it's amazing, Jackie, and you mentioned that, and I just could not relate, because I'm sure there were McDonald's in my day. I'm sure. But guess what? We didn't know it. We were so poor, we were just happy to get some food on the table.
Hello.
So, I mean, I didn't know even that McDonald's even existed until I was like teens. There was no going to get no McDonald's. What we had on a Friday, and was thanking God we had that, was a bologna sandwich.
These people don't know anything about bologna.
Does anybody else relate to me who's watching? We had bologna. We had some ice cream. That was like party time.
Right. Absolutely.
So
making ice cream.
As we're moving on, I want to emphasize that the importance of parenting, you know, the importance of, you know, you setting a foundation for your children. You're the one who's setting the model. You're the one who's setting not only that, but you're setting history for them, and you're setting future culture for them. And we call
them and your grandchildren, because you have to remember these things are going to pass on. Your children are going to pass them down.
Right.
You know, I certainly did. And as a child, like you said, you never think. You kind of look at your parents like, what? And what are you talking about? Because the truth is, as a child, you're like, I am never going to be that old. Okay? I am never going to be old like my parents. Like, forget that. But you find yourself saying and doing the exact same things.
I have a joke, and they're not really a joke. I don't tell jokes that well, but I have a client that I'm working with, and she would tell her son, she said, I hope when you have children that they take you as much hell as you're taking me through. And she said she has a grandchild. She said, I forgot I was going to be the grandparent of these children.
Exactly.
So
seriously, be careful what you're passing down.
Right. She said,
you will see it again. You will see it again. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm not seeing any comments yet. Audience, you gotta tell us.
I have one on Facebook. Al says, I relate to just having something to eat. I'm telling you. Al, do you remember those days when you had some beans and beans and cornbread, probably all you had, that's all we had, and your sister and brother would eat all darn beans up from you if you didn't get there? They leave you the juice, the pot liquor. Liquor.
Everybody don't come from these southern families that have 6, 10, 12 kids, okay?
We have no 12 children now, but there were 6 of us.
You had 6.
But see, it's those kind of things you don't forget. And it's those kind of things, Jackie, also, I think, that motivates you. Because not having, it's not really so bad.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you understand what it takes to get things, and you're And you also appreciate the work that you invested. You want to do a few more?
One I love. I brought you in this world, and I will take you out.
Oh, no, I heard that a lot.
Now, when our parents said, they meant that. Like, do not cross this line.
Oh my God.
I brought you in this world, and I will take you out. Okay.
How about this one?
What they typically mean is, I will knock you out.
How about this one? I ain't asking you, I'm telling you.
Hello.
And I can see that look. Now I ain't asking you nothing. No, I'm telling you to do this right here. But see, I was so wonderful. I didn't have that. I didn't get that kind of guidance and that kind of structure. I was a nice kid.
Okay. How many of us believe that? Okay. So let's go one by one, and I just want the audience to go yay, nay, if you heard that. You know, have you used it with your kids? You make your bed hard, and you're gonna have to sleep in it, right? You make your bed hard, you're gonna have to sleep in it. But anyone familiar with that one?
But also tell what it means. I think it'd be good if we did do some interpreting.
It means if you create the situation, you got to deal with it. If you're making it hard on yourself is what it means. Okay? You're making it hard on yourself.
So Jackie, we have 5 sentences to explain it. They said in a few words.
And offered no explanation. That's another thing. People did not explain back in the day.
You make your bed hard.
If you didn't know, like they start saying, you better ask somebody. Because they were not about to explain it.
Let's do a few more.
Okay. I'm not one of your little friends. Okay. That's again for somebody getting smart at the mouth. I'm not. Watch your mouth.
Oh, you know? Yes.
Oh, yeah. We have that one. Yep. You sleep with dogs, you get up with fleas. Yep.
No, but wait a minute.
Now I'm still confused. Like if you sleep with dogs, I guess it's saying if you're with some scandalous people that you're gonna get some of their bad rub off.
For a child who's not developed cognitively yet, trying to do these analogies, they said, "What dog you talking about?"
Ain't got no dog. You told me you got no dog.
So my dear, what a dog at? Now you're trying to get smart.
Well, no. He was trying to ask a legitimate question, but it was taken as he was trying to get smart. Because that's another thing. Half time, they didn't realize we did not know what they were talking about.
No.
Oh, I like this one. A hard head makes a soft behind.
Now, what is that?
Huh?
What do I mean? I mean, I was born from you. I had a hard head.
I know what that means. A hard head makes for a soft behind.
But you know what's interesting, Jackie? The kids did not. No, I'm not gonna say they didn't know. I think they made the connection based upon context, because that means they had done something wrong, and the parents said, "Listen here now, you can keep doing that.
Keep being hard-headed, because you know hard-headed. You being hard-headed meaning you're not listening. So a hard head makes for a soft behind. So maybe those two need to go together. Keep being hard-headed. Don't be hard-headed.
No. Now, what was the soft behind though?
A soft behind was how your behind felt after it met Mr. Leather. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, some of these things appear to be missing today.
Oh, goodness.
Stop all that crying before I give you something to cry about. Because, you know, you started crying when you knew you was in trouble. Ain't nobody touched you yet.
Well, Jackie, no, it was not. No, that was after they done touch you.
No.
No,
they said before I give you something to cry about.
They already done whipped you. You better shut up. I gave you something else to cry about. I said, wait a minute, what you expect from me?
No, I know kids right now. Bring up their parents and be like, start crying. Be like, okay, you ain't got a reason to cry yet, but you're absolutely right. They would also tell us, give you that spanking and dare you to cry.
You better not cry.
In other words, I ain't really hit you the way I ain't really spanked you the way I could.
Check. What about this one? Now, I'm going to do this right here. It's going to hurt me more. It's going to hurt you.
Oh, Lord. Like, okay, then how about we change roles?
How about we don't do it?
Because I know you're trying to punish me. Yeah.
How about we don't do this right here? And we'll both
how about we don't do it to hurt neither one of us? I love it. Oh, this was one. And I hear this one a lot. When we get in the store, don't touch nothing. You got to warn kids. You can tell when parents ain't wanting any stuff. I want this.
But Jackie,
hand on everything.
If you go to the store now, you can tell that kid the parent done told, don't touch. He got a frown on his face, about to cry.
Yeah, they be like,
oh, Lord.
Hands to yourself. Yeah, I see that one often at the grocery store.
Candace said, I never understood that one. Was it
which one, Candace? Put it in there so we'll know, because we went over a couple of them.
Oh, it was amazing. This is cracking me up.
Yeah. Okay, let me see some other good ones. I'm still waiting for some we haven't heard, because
Check
I
out
know there's some more out there, Dr. Miles, that we haven't mentioned, and I'm really waiting for our audience to add them.
how about
Good one. Go ahead, Dr. Miles.
I've been calling you. Don't make me come in there now.
Hello. Don't make me come in there.
Don't make me get up. Don't make me get up.
And look, you really did not want them to get up. So hurry up and go when they call you. Don't let your mouth writer check your can't cash.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We see it, Candace. Yep. Don't let your mouth writer check your bottom can't cash.
That means
another way of saying, watch what you say.
Don't say stuff you can't deliver on now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Don't rest of you can't deliver. Don't be saying stuff now.
Right. This other one, Miles, I had a different take on this one. This one says, stop running in and out of my house, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I remember over the summer, we were not allowed to be in the house, quote unquote, sucking up the AC while the adults were working. So no, that's why you had to be down there at that park, getting them delicious box lunches until your parents came home.
Guess what? I didn't know that.
Oh, yes. Grove Park, Jackson, Mississippi, down the street from my grandma's house. Be like, you can't sit in that house and suck up no AC while grown people working. They tell you, oh, you going to sit here and suck up the AC while I'm at work? I don't think so. Be outdoors.
Well, Jackie, if they had AC, you and them fans.
Well, we had them ACs in the window now, but they only came on at night when the grown people came home.
You think about
and these kids today will sit up in the house all day. You understand?
The kids today will have air conditioning on.
Air conditioning on, electronic this, that, just all day long. Like, y'all got a different life.
Check. I'm gonna share with you when I used to my kids. I used to when I was growing up. Yeah, and this is the story I would tell them. I said, listen, I don't ask y'all to pay no bills, but respect my struggle. So I go to say, respect my struggle. They know exactly what I'm talking about.
Miss Queen said she would say, suck up the oxygen. I mean, it's sucking up all the oxygen.
But doesn't this bring back memories when families were families? Are you with me?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
The families had substance, and everything they taught us was to protect us and guide us lifetime.
Right.
I just think we're talking
about. And
even
through these comments, as you know, the analogies or whatever they gave us, we also recognize them as signs of love.
Yeah.
You know.
Al put one on. He said, and Al, that's called, I'm gonna whoop you for general principle. Now you ain't did nothing, but I know you're gonna do something.
Right.
So I'm gonna get now.
It's just in general to keep you in line.
But Al says, I'm gonna whip you before you do something. In other words, you gonna do something. So that means just go and get it out the way.
Yep. Yep. And this was a real popular one, especially for teenagers. Jan's mom let her do such and such. Good. Go live with her. Cause ain't happening over here.
I ain't Jan's mom and dad.
Yep. Look, I'll help you pack.
It's kind of amazing. And as we talk about these, it really does bring up family values. It brings up families' cohesiveness and understanding.
Yep.
Right. Ms. Queen, just wrote something. You want to read it?
Yeah, I like it. It was coming up. It says, I'm raising such and such, a reason you're such and such. And right, if such and such jump off the bridge, are you going to jump off the bridge too? Heard that one all the time. Following your friends. Stop following your friends. If they jump off the bridge, are you going to do it too?
The smart kids today, it's my, yep.
Yep.
And
and they better not be within swinging distance because they're going to get hit. Yep.
Exactly. But I think we need to go back, and I think just even tonight when we're doing this to Jackie, it's like, what will we want them to say about us? And for our listeners who are on, what do you want your kids to remember about you? What phraseology, what motto, for lack of better words, would you like for your kids?
And honestly, if you talk to your kids today, if you could put your kids online right now, what phrase sticks in their head that you've shared with them? I'm really curious about that. What stands out? I definitely remember, go sit down somewhere.
I remember this right here.
The back of that was like, anywhere but here. Somewhere, go sit down.
What about the one, do you live in a barn?
Hello.
I had a hard time. That was a slow processor. I live in a barn. What is that?
No. It means with the animals.
No, it means close that darn door.
Right. Oh, and the barn door open too. Yep. Yep. They will get knocked into the middle of next week. Yep. Yes, Miss Queen. All of those.
They would always have a word for us. Always have a word for us. And it's amazing, Jackie, that, you know, when we heard those words, we said, when we grow up, I ain't gonna never say that foolishness.
Yep.
I just got to figure it out. And I find myself now, make your bed hard, you're gonna lay in it.
Because they are so appropriate. That's what you realize as you're an adult. They are so appropriate. You know, as long as you're under my roof, you live by my rules. Now, you know, that's a response to one that's really getting grown.
Oh, that, and also it's a response to Jane's mom, don't do this stuff.
Yep. All right. Two wrongs don't make a right.
Right.
I'm going to have to literally add that one to the list because that was a big one. You know,
this is the one I use a lot. Talking to you is like talking to a brick wall. It ain't going nowhere. It's not going anywhere.
Yep. Time and time
it's like
again.
A brick wall. Now, I check our viewers, like they so good, like they ain't nobody ever said this to them.
The best little children on the planet.
What is your mom or dad ever said to you when you were growing up that you didn't forget?
Yep.
From you.
Look, I do turn these lights off every day. I think instead of saying turn the lights off, we ought to be saying here, pay the light bill. And I think the lights would all go off.
Yep, exactly. Miss Queen said the brick wall. Anyone else?
Yep, I think that's what we need to be saying. Here is the light bill. Give me your money.
You know,
look, your birthday money going to pay this bill. Lights off.
We're actually talking tonight at night and really having fun because I want to have a light night, but I also want to make sure it was of substance. You know, make sure that as our audience is with us, they're actually, if they didn't have parents to say these kinds of things, you know, that these kind of things that were said back in the day, and for some of us, you know, we've carried over for almost a generation. You know, I was like 6, 7, and 12, 13. My parents were talking this way to me.
Right.
And 65.
Oh, and I was gonna say yes, certainly much earlier. You know, so Candace Nicole is on. She said she was a golden child. I'd like to hear that from her, from the people who raised her. I'm not sure they would agree. You know, I think we need to hear from the people who raised her. I think they probably could say they went through every last one of these at one point or another.
But it's so amazing that it goes to show again that, you know, our parents do have an impact on us. And I don't care how poor you are, how, you know, I thought my parents were not mean. My mother was more, to me, she was more of substance. Yet it was hard for me to read her. She would always have me to think. Like I said, I never got a direct answer.
We don't get direct answer. This is one I hadn't heard, Dr. Miles. There's a comment on that I had not heard.
Where is it? When
you ask your mom why, it came from Cody. And it says, when you ask your mom why, and she responds, because Y comes before Z. And I'm still mad about that one. Yeah.
I haven't heard that one.
I have not heard that one. I got to add it to the list because Y comes before Z. Because I said so.
Like Jackie, Cody says she's still mad about it.
Yep. Because just like you're saying, that is not an answer.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing.
And, you know, we really be expecting our parents, when we're young, we really be expecting some logical answers. You know, we all of a sudden big enough to ask questions, and we expect them to really respond.
But they be
why it comes before Z.
But Jackie, they be answering us. They be kind of like upset with us and say this stuff.
Of course, they're like, "Don't dare question me, child." Like, who you talking to?
Where's that coming from?
Is that on the list?
Because why?
Who you talking to?
Look, because why come before Z?
Yeah, I love it. I'm gonna have to start using it because why come before Z? Who you talking to? I love that one.
That crap.
You want to hear?
Let's have some more from the rest of y'all.
Okay. Let's see. Keep playing and see what happens. Love it. Keep playing and see what happens. They tell you to stop. You don't quite move fast enough. They're like, okay, keep playing. You know, that's a warning for you better get up and run because they about to come for you.
All right, keep playing. Just keep playing.
Yep. Keep playing and see what happens. I love it.
It's just so amazing. But for me going through these, it likes put me back in a time zone.
Right.
But the other thing about it, what it does, is that laughing is therapeutic.
Mm.
And and again, we find ourselves always with our time here, always so dealing with tough issues and with depression and all those kind of things. And
right.
what I think we're gonna start doing is actually say, really, laughter is the best therapy. Laughter.
Dr. Miles, I think that is a very good point about laughter and therapy. And as we, care and protect our children and have to do things for them, that's a good question. Are we also laughing with them? Are we having good times with them? Are we sharing with them the things our parents said to us? Raising kids, I think one of the things they used to love to hear was things that happened between, my parents and myself. And one of the things they loved was hearing that you got spankings.
Oh, they love
that whole, you gonna get a spanking. I'm gonna tell grandma you about to get a spanking. Love it.
What my grandson loves? My grandson loves when I discipline his dad. Now his dad is 32 years old.
Love
30,
it.
33.
Same thing.
I can't believe you. I said, yeah. And
yeah, they love knowing that mom and daddy can get in trouble too. Like, grandma bigger than you.
That's why they call the grandparents and tell on them.
Yep. And they literally do that. So that's another thing. But this is, and the importance of multi-generational impact. And this alone would be a great thing to just sit down one day with your kids and let's play this game. Things our parents used to say, things our grandparents used to say.
Jackie, you know what I said? I gave this a title earlier. I said, parents say the darndest things. Just like kids say the darndest things.
Right. I got it. Yep. Parents say the darndest things.
What's amazing, Jackie, I think oftentimes they're not aware they're saying it.
No. Because again, a lot of this stuff we just get, and when we're responding to our kids, sometimes it kind of just rolls off the tongue,
All right, Al, we ain't gonna question what you just said. He said, "Get off." He said, "Get your managed self somewhere and sit down." Well, I ain't asked you what you were doing.
Look, manage and fast. I don't even know if those words are in the dictionary. Your fast self, and they weren't talking about speed.
Let me tell you something. Our folk made up some words. Own language up, but we understood it
very well.
And they said, "Get off on, you better get up on out of here."
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Look, formal English was not required.
You know what you do, Jack? I'm not sure you said this here. You may have said it, and I hope I'm not repeating it because I was trying to listen.
That's okay. You can bear repeating.
It will be great though if parents who are on tonight really get with their kids and tell them some of the phrases their parents told them and what it meant.
Yeah, I think the benefit of your children knowing that you were, of you sharing what your childhood was like cannot be overstated. Right. Because they see you as an adult. They don't know about your childhood. And unless you share it, they won't know. And they won't realize that you've been in their shoes.
But Jackie, what's so amazing about this, and this conversation is leading us to something more serious, and that is, it is a sad story when your children don't know your story.
You can say that again. It is I love that. That bears repeating. Yeah.
Whereas you have kids and they 13 years old. I didn't say 13, I said 13.
13 years old.
But those kids do not have your story.
And Dr. Miles, you'd be surprised. Very often, kids don't know where their parents grew up.
And I
run into that a lot. Where are your parents from? I don't know.
That's just really, some family stuff needs to occur. Some family communications need to occur. Because there should be conversations about my mom. I don't care how bad they were. I have a case where the parent does not want the children to know their father because he physically abused them.
Right.
I'm sharing with her, though, that guess what? Those kids are going to grow up.
And they want to know who their other half is. They want to know their parents.
They're going to resent her for lying to them.
Yes. Every time.
It is the lying which says, you lied and I trusted you. And parents are not supposed to lie to their kids. Are you with me? So all it's doing is opening a floodgate.
And at that point, they also feel that you stole something from them.
Yes.
Mm.
Both.
So we really do have to keep our relationships separate from, parent-child relationships.
But what we can do, Jackie, they can talk to children developmentally. They can talk to them on their level. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't think stories should be kept from children. I just don't. That, especially about themselves, about I don't care how much she don't like the husband because he ain't paying child support.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter to me.
And you think about, especially with COVID and maybe even before then.
Right.
Back in the day, there used to be a lot of family reunions. And those were the opportunities for multi-generational exchange, for hearing and knowing where your parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles, all these people were from. In the absence of that, again, you've got a child that is just lost, a tree without roots.
Jackie, the other thing, and all this leads into families. You know what's so amazing to me? And what amazes me is when parents think their children can't handle something, but what the kids can't handle is their reaction to the situation themselves. And I hope I'm being clear on this, right? Am I being clear that the parent is exerting more negative energy toward the situation than the child even knows
The
about?
parent is imposing their views on the child prematurely. And therefore, to your point, they never give the child an opportunity to experience something or be aware of something, because you felt bad about it. You just assume they're going to feel bad. But you have to remember, children are in a different position than you,
Candace, when you say the kids can't handle a lie, no, but children really can't handle it. Because the point is, the person they're trusting is
is
lying.
establishing that they can't be trusted.
And it only occurs, though, when they get older and say, wait a minute, my mom told me a lie for 10 years.
Oh, and listen, even the little ones, we'll be right back. When you really weren't coming back, that was your way of getting the child to stay. That one came back, on me. So you're not even thinking that you're, quote unquote, being dishonest. But if you said something that was not true, you
Right.
are in fact being dishonest. And children do remember. Like I said, I think that was an experience I had when long after my children became young adults, and they shared something from their childhood, and it blew me away. So
But,
we can't underscore that enough.
we tell the story, right? But the story doesn't just start with us and the children. It goes to their grandparents. And as far as the story goes back, you said, where your family from? Georgia? I mean, before then. Oh no.
Oh,
You know,
no.
Chicago or New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And so parents, we're going to encourage you all. We've gone from laughter to now being serious, ain't it?
Right. We
Yeah.
can't help it. We're always trying to guide and make sure that kids are getting what they need.
But their
But
stories. Go on, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, along that line, Dr. Miles, I also think that every family should have a family tree up in the house. We start sometimes when the babies are born, we have baby, and then we have mom and dad. But we should always just have it visually up and add relatives and let these children know that they are connected to an entire family.
You know what, Jackie? You know why some of that doesn't happen? Because there's so much trauma attached to the tree.
To those relationships, right, to the tree.
There's so much trauma. But the thing about it is that when the child is at a developmental age where they can process information, Jackie, I think it's critical that parents share the trauma. I'm going to try not to get too much.
And believe it or not, what they think they're healing by avoiding, but you can only heal when you address it.
Yeah.
You can only heal when you address it. And we've seen, we know of many cases where those untreated traumas, undealt with traumas, literally split families.
Well, you got me into an area I won't go to tonight, but avoidance behavior, Jackie. Avoidance behavior is avoiding dealing with the situation. It brings temporary relief, but when it comes back with a vengeance.
Absolutely.
So parents,
absolutely.
We'll hear a few more in a few minutes, but I think what Jackie and I are really imposing upon you all is stop being so busy. First of all, y'all ain't that busy because COVID had y'all locked up for 2 years. But the point is, talk to your children. Give them the story. Uncle Bubba was from Chicago. Grandma was from Mississippi. And this is how they met. And we were poor. Parents don't even want the kids to know they were poor.
Kids don't know what their parents do for a living. They don't know what their grandparents did.
Yeah.
Miss Queen, I agree. It does, when you think about it, go all the way back to the critical race theory. and explaining to our children who we are, what our experience is, and the truth is freedom.
It really is.
Truth is freedom. Yeah.
Check it. So we got all of that. We got all of that therapeutic stuff out of the darndest things our parents said.
But I think that was our point, that, therapy can come in many ways. I'm looking forward to us doing some sessions on the importance of therapy. And therapy takes many different forms. Therapy is internal and external, and it is about conversing with your children from early ages. We're talking 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds. We're not talking wait till they're 8, 9, 10, 12, and 13.
Right.
Okay? Because by that time, you've probably lost their attention. Early on, it's about giving them an appreciation for family.
Jackie, what I just thought about?
Sir.
It's important we tell the story instead of allowing the kids to create their narrative.
Right.
Because they'll be having wrong information.
Yep.
And their narrative can cause harm to them versus the parent creating the narrative. And then what the child does, the child continues the narrative that the parents have told.
Right. Miss Queen gives an excellent example here of both the importance and how children, deal with this. I love the stories my grandmother taught me. I asked about how they handled the depression, and this is true. And my grandmother said, we didn't know the difference because we were always poor.
Very true.
So many of us can relate to that. You don't know you're poor until somebody tell you poor. You're a child. You ate every day. You had on clothes. And so someone had to share with you, if you didn't have what someone else had. So very, very true.
But check this out, Jackie. Our situation was we were not poor. We were poor. But let's talk about community for a few minutes. But we lived we had the Regulus house in the community. We lived in a community that had teachers and principals, but they embraced us based upon our parents' values.
Right. We lived during a time where teachers actually lived in the communities where they taught. Mm-hmm. So you could see, Miss Smith and Miss Johnson in the morning, but you also knew Miss Smith and Miss Johnson could talk directly to your parents.
Exactly.
Right. And then your parents also knew Miss Smith and Miss Johnson, knew their parents often, knew their children. And the concept of community, Dr. Miles, if we go back and do the research, we will see that is when we produced the highest number of successful students and citizens, especially within our communities, when we were teaching them, because we understood the value. It wasn't something we had to learn in a classroom. We didn't have to cross cultures, which is very, very important. And all of these, a lot of these things were said by your teachers.
But Jackie, I was saying that the teachers had their own little phrase too. Now, I know your mama and them. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep. Yep. And look, they couldn't say they had them on speed dial back in the day, but yeah. And they could just pick up the phone, call your parents.
Oh, back in my day, though, they didn't have them on speed dial because the phone situation.
That's what I just said. They couldn't have had them on speed dial.
They would visit. How they did home visits.
They did home visits. It was part of the job. Yep. Part of the evaluation, part of your report in terms of the students' environments. Absolutely. And your parents were required to come into that school and meet with your teachers.
How about this one? I hope you know that schoolwork like you know that song.
Yep. But honestly, Dr. Miles, when I was coming up, I don't even remember being allowed to listen to too much music unless I was with my parents. We didn't have the individual devices that students have now. And we certainly didn't play their records. Like, you wouldn't go get caught scratching a record. So a lot of times if we were listening to music, guess what? It was with our parents. But then you do have that generation with whom we had to say that.
Right.
When the iPods came out and all these other little MP3 players and things like that.
Check it. Let's go through a few more. Our time is running out. Let's go through a few of these that we have not, even if we have to recover, say them over, because I thought they were pretty good.
God gave you a brain, use it.
Oh.
Ask a stupid question, get a stupid answer. Our parents were not afraid to use the word stupid, I can tell you that. And now, oh my goodness, it's called child abuse. Let's see. We have as long as you're under my roof. Now, this is controversial right here, Dr. Miles.
Okay.
If someone hits you first, you hit them back.
You know, I actually heard about that today, and a parent was telling me, she told her child, don't ever hit anybody first, but if they hit you, try to lay them out. And so I kind of like said, I said, okay, well, that is one of your values. I said, I'm not telling you whether it's right or wrong. I said, but parents today, some of them, Jack, are really telling the kids, they're not just saying hit them back.
They are. They're saying lay them out.
Make sure they don't get back up.
Make sure they don't get back up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because, you know, kids have access to all sorts of weapons and guns, these things can be dangerous. But again, if you're not throwing the first punch, and basically they're saying, you know, defend yourself.
Right.
Don't be afraid to defend yourself. Okay. Let's see. I'm waiting to hear some again that we have not heard before. Okay.
Now, I haven't heard this one before. I'm not sure if our audience has. It says, let's play the quiet game.
I love that one.
That means
another way of saying, shut up. Let's play the quiet game. That was a very nice. Look, that's for that 2-year-old. Why? But why? But why? You did, and why did you do that? I would laugh. Why?
Or Jackie, are the 15-year-old who acts like a 2-year-old.
Works for all of that.
Let's play the quiet game.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Grown folks talking.
How about this one, Jackie? Now you done came and your mama told you what time to be in. And you come sashaying in the house. I said sashaying in the house. And she said, somebody better be bleeding.
Right. And don't let, remember this one? Don't let the street lights catch you outside that door. Yep. I like that one. Somebody better be bleeding. That means there better be some blood somewhere.
It better have been an emergency. You came in my house at 11 o'clock.
And do we have street lights anymore? Remember when that was just one of the things? Don't let the street lights catch you. I remember that one.
Well, I think
don't let the street lights catch you.
That's a good
on the other side of that door.
We do have street lights. We don't have street lights. We have lamps now. You know, they're yard.
Right, but guess what? Children don't play outside anymore.
Oh, they really don't. They don't. You're right.
Yep.
They really don't play outside. So I guess street light won't catch them.
I have a question for the audience since we're on that just a little of a diversion. Do kids still get bikes for Christmas? Is that still a thing, like a big thing? Because they talk about get bicycles. Mm-hmm. That was the thing. You always had to get a new bike every Christmas. But, you know, they talk about how children are not doing physical exercise anymore. So I just wondered if that's still out there. Okay. All right, audience. Any ones that we haven't mentioned, any that you recall your parents, it's even your grandparents. For those of you who spent time with your grandparents, because, you know, the grandparents really did not mince words.
And also, while you're doing that, you know, we're about to close out. Tell us, how'd you enjoy the programming tonight? I enjoyed it. I mean, I had fun. Give me some feedback.
Dr. Miles, I think we definitely needed a lighter night.
Yeah.
Yeah, from going from critical race theory on 2 nights to some of our other topics. I mean, I think it was great to just kind of keep it light, talk about some of the other fun things that, you know, we remember growing up. And again, our goal is to encourage parents to engage with your children.
Right.
How well do your children know you? I have another question. How well do your children know your parents?
Yeah.
Even if they're not here, especially if they're not here with us still, how well do they know them? Okay.
Tell the story. Create the narrative for your children. Tell the story. Create a narrative for them. Because if you don't create the narrative, they're going to create one, and it may not be factual. It may.
Right. And how about you even start a journal of things that you want your children to pass on to your grandchildren?
Well, Jackie, at this point, our time is out. I had fun. Jackie, I hope you had fun. It was
Miss Queen. I always had fun. There were a few of those there that brought back some serious memories.
Exactly. And we hope our audience really had a ball tonight. And as you had a ball, I just hope that you had some reflections, some positive reflections, and that you simply get with your children. And because I'm telling you, even my grandchildren, I'm going to sit down with them and say, listen here, I'm gonna read these phrases and say, what does it mean to y'all? I can tell my grandson is like, what are you talking about? I'm saying, if you play on the bank, you're gonna fall in the river. He goes, oh, Papa, where the river is?
Especially when you're talking to a child that don't know what a bank is, a river bank. And Miss Queen, that sweet potato pie recipe, absolutely keep those. You know, baking the way our grandparents did it is becoming a lost art because everything is purchased. So by all means, keep all of those. Again, audience, it's been great. It's been a light night. Dr. Miles, thank you for a light night.
Well, I want to read one from Al because he did follow the instructions. It was family and friends night. He said, my wife and I really enjoyed the program. Lots of fun. Thank you all for a nice evening. Al, we appreciate you and we appreciate the feedback. Jackie?
And I want to encourage them to pay it forward by engaging this conversation with youth.
Exactly.
Okay?
All right. Hey, listen, folks, it's been wonderful. We're going to see you next week. It's going to be fun, but not that light because we're getting back into family matters. Jackie, it's great always seeing you. I'll see you next week. And for those who to be right and Texas, we're praying for you.
Yes.
All right. Take care. We love y'all. Take care. Bye-bye.
Enjoyed you. Good night.